Today I'll be speaking on the impact of solitary confinement and how they affect you at home. In a research project done by the ASCA, it shows that 61,000 inmates are being kept in solitary confinement. Noted, this isn't all of the inmates being kept in solitary confinement because the government isn't as involved as it should be, therefore leaving information out so we don't know the exact numbers of people in solitary confinement. My reason for wanting to acknowledge solitary confinement is I feel like you guys should know more about it. I feel like it's a lot of information we don't know about these tortures, and it causes more harm to people than good. My dad, he was in solitary confinement. He was in jail throughout his years, and he had to defend himself, so he's been put in solitary confinement. As a result, he's come home and has led him to having PTSD, a bad ability to fall asleep. He doesn't work well with others, and he always has a defense mechanism as if someone's going to try to hurt him. I feel like this is important because it affects us in more ways than we know, because we never know how impactful this is on your family member, because you never get that family member back the same way. In this speech, I'll be addressing the mental, physical, and social effects of this problem here. First, I'll address the mental issues. In a research project done by Dr. Suarez in her essay, The Effects of Solitary Confinement on the Brain, she did a research project where she had mice, and when they monitored these mice through torture and punishment, after a week you could see that 20 neutrons were gone. In those neutrons, you could see that puts them in a brain mechanism which puts them in a defensive mode, and it keeps them isolated. The effects of the mental is also that it makes people feel a loneliness, causing them to have a mental illness. A method of PTSD and depression is often this mental illness that they suffer from. Is sometimes uncontrollable, and it sometimes can cause them to do harm to themselves. As well as this problem also decreases a thing in your brain called the hippocampal, which is a part in your brain that monitors your memory, your ability to learn, and your ability to move, and this is all harmed. Next, I'll address the physical. Also, Dr. Suarez, in her article, The Effects of Solitary Confinement in the Brain, she speaks on another research project that was done on Robert King. He was in solitary confinement for 29 years where he was being held. After he was released, when they monitored him, they could see that it was problems in his movement, problems in his ability to remember, and problems in his ability to work with others. As well as solitary confinement denies these inmates the right to be physically active, which is harmful to their health, as well as another physical, as well as another issue that they're being faced with is the ability to taking money from the other inmates and general population, which is harming the growth of the jails. This harmfulness is taking money out of their pockets and is causing more harm than good. If I could wrap it up, I would say it's interacting, their ability to perform, their ability to enact, and their ability to grow. The purpose of solitary confinement, or the purpose of jail, is to sit people down and have them clear their minds so they can reminisce on what they did wrong and see how, when they're released, that they can fix it and become a better person to society. If we're putting them in solitary confinement like caged dogs, all they have time for is to think about negative thoughts. It gives them a mind of their own where they aren't able to control themselves. It's impacting them, and we must do something about this. We must make change. Your family is more impacted than you know.